All right, guys, so we're 1 week down in Jaguars training camp. The non-padded portion has been concluded, and tomorrow being Sunday, July 31st, is the day that pads will officially come on in preparation for the first preseason game on Thursday. So let's go ahead and discuss what has been happening. Now, I'm going to start this video off and just talk about the competitions that have been at play. I know that was one thing that I was really looking forward to when training camp practices began because there seemed to be, plenty of spots of competition going on. The main one was the offensive line. Now, one thing that we knew that Cam Robinson was going to be the starting left tackle and Brandon Sheriff was going to be the starting right guard, but that left three spots open on the Jaguars offensive line. So it was all about, okay, who is going to win these different battles? But it looks like at center, they're pretty much letting Luke Fortner play his way out of the starting center spot. I think that is a good, he's been getting all the starting reps. And Tyler Shatley, the guy that we thought was going to be in competition with him, is pretty much getting all the starting reps at left guard. And I actually do like that. Really, competition in training camp can drive me nuts because nowadays, you really don't get as much practice time, so you need to be able to get these guys up to speed and going good. And you drafted this guy, Luke Fortner, in the third round. You drafted him knowing that, look, this guy one day is going to be a starter, so why not get him out here sooner rather than later? He played all 4 years at Kentucky. He's a really smart guy, so at this point, it's all about, okay, let's get him up to speed to allow him to be able to be the week one starter. And I think that center is very important because, look, the center is going to really call a lot of the protections. He is going to have a direct impact with the quarterback because he's the one that snaps it to the quarterback, whether it be under center or whether it be, Trevor Lawrence in shotgun. And the play essentially starts with his hand on the ball. So I think that's important. And also, you gotta realize, like, when he is out there under center and he's starting out there, he's got two really experienced guys to the left and right of him. Over on the left side, you have Tyler Shatley, who is going into his 9th NFL season, who also has a lot of playing time at center. So that is a guy that can give him a lot of good advice on what to do at that spot. And then to his right, he has an all-pro, Pro Bowler Brandon Sheriff, who is going into his 8th NFL season. So you have a lot of experience on both sides of you, a lot of guys that have played a lot of NFL games. So I think really with Luke Fortner being able to put himself in there at center and develop that chemistry with Trevor Lawrence, being able to develop the chemistry with the rest of the offensive line, understand protections, and I think it's a really good thing. I think it's a good thing. And even Doug Peterson pretty much said, like, yeah, it's a competition and everything, but, we want to give him a lot of the reps. He's basically in a position that he is going to have to play his way out of being the starting center. If he's not the starting center week one, either he's injured or either he did not look very good in training camp, which would be probably a pretty big concern because that's a guy that you drafted with an eye on that. And outside of that, on the offensive line, it still is a battle between Jawan Taylor and Walker Little at right tackle. Now, Jawan Taylor has been out of practice the last couple of days. He's been kind of out to the side doing work. I guess he has kind of a minor injury, so they're bringing him by slowly. But that's kind of allowing Walker Little to get more reps at right tackle to see if he has what it takes over there because it's a new position. He played all left tackle last year. I don't know how many reps he was really getting at right tackle last year when it comes to practice time, but he's going to be out there, really benefiting, I guess, from Jawan Taylor being absent a little bit. Next competition is not so fun. The next competition is the kicking competition, and it's not really as much of a competition as it is a game of survivor, as we went in here with Andrew Mavis, an undrafted rookie, versus Ryan Santoso, and Andrew Mavis was so bad that he didn't even last a week. He got cut after a horrible practice, and all the articles kind of capped it up with him actually hitting former Cowboys head coach and a guy that's on 1010XL a lot, and that's David Campo. I guess he hit him, and he's been cut. So the Jaguars bring in kicker Elliott Fry, who I have good memories from Elliott Fry because I know a lot of you guys remember I was really into the AAF team, the Orlando Apollos, and he was the kicker for the Orlando Apollos, and he actually went 14 for 14 on field goals back then. Now, him in the NFL, he is 5 for 6 on field goals, 5 for 7 on extra points, and he's been with 9 different NFL teams. And man, I don't like hearing that the kicking is not looking good. Kicking is one of those positions that it's a really, really important position in the NFL because you don't want to leave 3 points hanging on the board. You don't want to. You remember last year when Jamal Agnew had the best play of the NFL season. He ran back the missed kick from like 69 yards, 109-yard return. He ran it back, touchdown, right at the end of the first half, and then Josh Lambo goes out there and misses an extra point. It's just a real buzzkill when these kickers can't make their kicks, and it's so shocking that there are 32 kicking positions open in the world, and you can't find good ones. It's mind-blowing. I know me, I mean, I'm all about bringing in Matthew Wright to do, field goals, having Logan Cook do kickoffs, and just trying to punt less because that's the way the Jaguars have done it the last couple of years. But all of a sudden they stopped that last year and had Matthew Wright doing kickoffs. And for those of you that are wondering why the Jaguars cut Matthew Wright, it's because of the kickoffs. The guy did not have a big enough leg to be able to get touchbacks, and teams were starting the ball between the 30 and the 35-yard line a lot. That's not good. You don't want to give teams that extra bit of yardage. You don't want to give the team an automatic first down when they should be starting at the 25. There's no reason why they should be starting off at the 35. It's a huge disadvantage in a game that really is a game of inches a lot of times. So that's what's going on there, and it's concerning. Hopefully Elliott Fry can go out here and do stuff. I don't know. It's and no, the Jaguars aren't bringing back Josh Lambo. Josh Lambo just got done trying to sue the Jaguars. I think his Jaguar days are over. It's just not fun. Not fun. So moving on from that, we'll go to some of the good and the bad of the Jaguars training camp so far. Now, Trevor Lawrence apparently has been looking great, just taking control of this offense. He's just made a lot of really good throws early on in training camp, and that's the thing. That's what we want to hear. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is the future of this Jaguars. I can't stress that enough. He is. The better Trevor Lawrence does, the better the Jaguars do, and the more years of success we can have as an organization. Another thing is that ETN has been absolutely electric. I'm just so excited for ETN, and it's fun because you're seeing a lot of ETN out at training camp practices, and I made basically a highlight video of the first week of training camp. If you guys want to watch it, it's on the channel. I posted it yesterday. ETN, I mean, he's not only taking carries out of the backfield, he's running a lot of routes, whether it be wheel routes on the sidelines or, starting off in the backfield and kind of running in between the linebackers or kind of running these out routes. I mean, he's been really a receiving back, and man, wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't it be fun if we had an Alvin Kamara on this team? It'd be awesome. Another thing is that the wide receivers have looked pretty good. Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Marvin Jones, even Laquan Treadwell have reportedly been having really good camps. So hopefully Trevor Lawrence and them keep developing that chemistry, and hopefully we can have at least a serviceable wide receiver group. I mean, we're not going to have a top 5 receiving group. We're probably not even going to have a top 10 receiving group. But as long as these guys can go out there, make the catches, get separation at times, as long as we can get the scheme looking right, this could be a serviceable group. Next up, the cornerback group has also looked really good. Between apparently Tyson Campbell's had an awesome camp, which is great to hear. Even Trey Herndon's looked good, which sometimes I get a little bit sketched out at because it feels like every year Trey Herndon has a great training camp, makes the roster, then we see him in live action in September, October, November, and it's like, this guy is terrible. But for now, he's doing pretty good. Shaq Griffin has had a good camp. Even Darius Williams has been, really good. So hopefully it's a pretty formidable cornerback group. And Foye Oluokun has also looked good. I mean, he's the veteran out there amongst kind of a bunch of young guys in the linebacker core. Led the NFL in tackles last year, free agent addition. So with Devin Lloyd out, I mean, right now he's really the heart of the defense. So hopefully Foye-Oluokun can continue to do some work. Now, some of the bad. The Jaguars in the red zone was not great the other day. Now, I can kind of make excuses for this. Now, early on in training camp, like you don't have pads. So right now there is no threat of the run. So these defenses, they're really preparing for passes. And also it's early on in camp where really Trevor Lawrence doesn't have a lot of chemistry with these guys just yet. I mean, there's a lot of new additions look at all the new additions. Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, you have Evan Ingram, all these guys. There's just a lot of new guys. It's a new scheme. So really early on in training camp, you have to start developing chemistry, and the defense is going to be ahead of the offense right now. And honestly, if the offense went out there and dominated the defense in red zone, that would be a major red flag for the defense. I know a lot of times all we want to do is we want to hear positive offensive news, but for right now, the Jaguars have been kind of bad in the red zone. Now, one thing that I cannot accept, or I guess tolerate, or really make excuses or justify is the word I'm trying to say, is that the tight ends have been bad. Doing a lot of drops between Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram just has been dropping a lot of passes, and if there's anything we were warned about with Evan Ingram is that he's an oft injured player, which, hey, he hasn't been injured, so I guess it's a good thing. But also he suffers a lot of drops and a lot of critical drops. And, he's been dropping some easy balls. And, dropping balls isn't just bad because it's incompletion. If you tip these balls up in the air, if you put your hands here and the ball gets tipped up, the defense generally intercepts that. I mean, we saw that so many times last year, and the drops are just really just unacceptable. We can't have easy drops, and it's, we can understand why Giants fans were so frustrated with Evan Ingram. It's just like a lot of Jaguar fans with Laviska Shenault last year. The drops from these receiving guys is just, you get paid all this money to catch 5 to 7 balls per game, and you can't do that. I don't know. It's because Evan Ingram, he's on his second stint, with the new NFL team. Right now he's out here to try to really shed what his current perception is when it comes to just being an injured guy and dropping the ball a lot. If he comes out this year and only plays 10 games and has a bunch of drops, that's who he is. That's who he's going to be. He's going to be an injured guy who drops a lot of balls. So right now it's all about, can he overcome that? Early on he hasn't, but at the end of the day, it only matters between September through January. And that's going to be the real test. But early on, it has been looking good. Also, Dan Arnold has been suffering with his fair share of drops. And it stinks because the Jaguars, Doug Peterson is a really tight end-centric offense. And if you can't rely on your tight ends, where do you go? And we'll just have to move forward with that. Continue to monitor, obviously. And now kicking, like I said earlier, has been bad. It's been really bad. And I already went on my rant about kicking, so we'll just move on. Now, a few notes. It's been really cool to see where Josh Allen and Travon Walker have been inseparable. I mean, they're working together a lot outside of just team activities. I mean, you see them a lot with each other, running through drills with the coach. And man, if the Jaguars can take that next step, a lot of things had to happen. I mean, Trevor Lawrence has to be who we thought he was. Another thing is that, a bunch of these different guys between, Andre Sisco, Tyson Campbell, a lot of these young guys also had to continue to progress. And another thing that has to happen is that, look, Travon Walker was the first player taken in the NFL draft. The Jaguars front office and coaching staff and whoever thought that this was the best guy in this draft. If he can be that and be that disruptive force, because we know Josh Allen is good, and we saw what Josh Allen was his rookie year when he had Yannick Ngakoue and Calais Campbell on the other side. If Travon Walker can be that elite edge rusher, man, that's going to take this defense to new heights. I mean, if you can get the team off the field on third down, if you can start sacking a quarterback early on where all of a sudden a 1st and 10 turns into 2nd and 18, Oh, I can't stress how important that is, guys. That would be so important. So if those things happen, oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry with how successful the Jaguars can be. So that's been really cool to see. Now, injury-wise, we already know that Devin Lloyd got injured like the day before training camp, kind of tweaked his hamstring a little bit. So he's doing a little bit of work, just mostly work on the sides when it comes. He's not doing any team exercises, just like I saw him on the ropes. He's kind of like pulling sleds, so he's on the sideline doing that stuff. Jawan Taylor and Fatou Kassi both got, like, I guess, nicked up a little bit during practice this week, so they're kind of on the side working. Nothing too serious there, I don't think. Jamal Agnew and James Robinson are being brought along slowly after both of their injuries. Jamal Agnew had the hip injury last year. James Robinson tore his Achilles late last season. I think it was like week 16. So that's unfortunate, but he's been working his way back. And also CJ Beathard hurt himself a little bit during OTAs. So those guys that's kind of the injury report. So hopefully these guys move forward and start progressing. Now looking forward, like I said earlier, Sunday is the first padded practice. On Tuesday, the team flies out to Canton. They fly out to Ohio. I don't even know what airport they go to when they're trying to go to Canton. I don't know if there's a Canton International, if they had to go fly into Akron. I don't know anything about Ohio geography, but that's not this channel. You can go to Ohio Today to figure out where the heck they're going to fly into. Tuesday, they're flying out. Thursday is a Hall of Fame game. It's unbelievable that we have a preseason game like 5 days from now, but hey, I'll take it. I'm excited to see the team out there playing. Even if we don't get, I don't imagine a lot of impact players will play, but I'll be excited to see some of these fringe roster guys, really just some of these undrafted rookies out there competing. And hey, if you're watching this right now, a training camp Jaguars recap, you're probably a football degenerate. So we're all excited about this game on Thursday. Let's be real. So with all that said, I'm going to keep you guys updated. I'll keep just trying to post videos and just post content, get you guys excited and ready for the season. And also, guys, if you're members of the channel, I am going to, because I've been having a lot of questions, I'm doing another fantasy league for the channel. So if you guys are members, it only costs $3 a month to do that. There's 3 different tiers. So if you guys are interested, last year I gave out prizes for the winners. Everybody who is a member can play. It's not limited to so-and-so people. So be on the lookout for that. Now, with all that said, that's all I got for you guys. I really appreciate all you guys for watching and supporting the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already, because we'll be posting videos like crazy. Football season is back. Jaguars are back. And hopefully, winning is back. Go Jags. On the field, we got it in the bag. Jacksonville Jags. You know how we ball. Best believe it. Got the people screaming out, Duval. Okay, Jacksonville Jaguars. Too much for your crew to handle. Keep it lit. And this is the #1 YouTube channel by UCF Jaguar. Yeah, we about to blast off.